Hey there, this is Todd Wahl with FPVLive.tv and the Drone Racing Club. I'm here with Joel Stickman, as he's known, who actually comes from RC car racing. Tell me a little bit about the correlation between RC car racing and this type of racing.
Well, basically, you get RC experience as setting things up and the orientation for line of sight flight. But as for FPV and quad racing, there's like zero similarity.
All right, exactly. Yeah. You mean you don't do FPV with cars? No.
Now,
why don't you? People want to know.
I attempted it once, and the perspective is about 20% throttle from normally driving one line of sight. So
it's because it's bumpy and jittery, or what?
It's very bumpy, and when you jump, you're pointing at the sky. So it's hard to get a camera orientated the right place. You'd have to put like a 4-foot stick on it and point it down over yourself to really do it right.
Gotcha.
Not a lot of similarities, other than the electronics and knowing how to do speed control, programming, and stuff like that.
So most RC cars are brushless, right? I mean, for most part.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing rock crawling or something like that.
15 years ago.
Yeah, 15 years ago, right? Okay, that's cool. And so you come from what, nitros or?
I've done both. Nitro and electric.
I got you. So
off-road.
So how long have you been doing multi-rotor flying?
About 3 years.
About 3 years. Okay,
Yeah.
so quad flying and FPV. When did that come into play for you?
About 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago.
Yeah, I started line of sight, aerial photography, large quad, and then they started getting smaller and faster.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's see your airframe. What are you flying with today?
Today I'm running a Multi-Rotor Mania Scythe, which is a true X frame, has these outer supports. It's proven to be extremely durable. Top plate's big enough for a GoPro mount, and it has a really nifty transmitter placement where your transmitter is fully visible. Change channels. Battery goes on bottom. She's running T motors and these new Dow tri-blades, which are great for racing because they're indestructible.
So now this is a unibody design. In other words, it's one single base plate. What is the mil thickness? That's a pretty thick frame. 4 mil. You know, that's usually 1 mil thicker than some of these frames.
They offer it in a 3 and a 4, and I buy the 4 because I crash really hard.
Hey, you know, and we're all about build, fly, crash, repeat.
Yeah.
And if you crash a good bit, then having a 4 mil is going to save you some money. 3 mil is kind of on the edge, right? So, but I see you got a good stack there. What flight controller are you flying?
This is Multi-Rotor Mania's Dragonfly 32.
Okay.
And then that's just a regular PDB there, kind of a generic one that does 5 and 12 volt regulators for the camera and the flight board.
All right. So what ESCs are you doing here?
These are, again, Multi-Rotor Mania's 20 amps.
20 amps.
They're basically a Little Bees. Their version of the Little Bees, they call them the Zeus.
Gotcha. Good.
And then just the El Cheapo antenna that I modified for toughness.
And so we're running 4S. How many milliamp hour battery?
1300 4S.
And what's your flight time?
3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Aggressively.
Yeah. And then I see you got a pretty deep degree of tilt there. That looks like it's.
And I was looking at the ground.
Oh, you were.
Out there. I need more.
That's about a 45, right? When you say it's about a 45.
I need about 60 for this setup.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that you at one point were flying like this, but
Pretty
like
much.
you said, you were looking at the ground.
Yeah.
So what's your field of view on that?
That's a 2.8 lens.
Okay. All right.
I'm not really sure what the field of view on that is. I've tried 2.1 and it's too much.
Okay.
And they just come out with a 2.5 lens that I have ordered. I'm going to try that.
And it's just replaceable on there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
That's just an HS1177 camera. You can change the lenses out.
And Dow props, right? You know?
Today.
Okay. Today, what do you normally fly as far as props
I normally fly the Jim Pham 5040s.
5040s? And these
are... Those are Dow 5045s.
Yeah, okay.
They're a little more aggressive, but they're pretty much unbreakable.
Can you run 6-inch on these?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can on that frame.
All right.
I don't know why you would want to, but, but you can.
You can, okay.
Yeah.
So if you had some sort of suggestion or recommendation for somebody getting into the sport, what exactly would you say to do from an airframe or beginning standpoint?
Yeah. Just starting out, having never flown anything, buy an $80 Hubsan or a Sema and practice in no windy conditions. Learn line of sight, and when you're comfortable with that, then step into there's several ready-made frames,
right?
But if you build it, you know how it's built, you can fix it.
Like
and that's kind of important.
Yeah. So we got Vortex is kind of a ready-made.
Right.
They've got the new Vendetta, TBS Vendetta, the Storm is another. So those are good starting points that they're already pre-assembled, tested, and tuned. So
Right.
out of the box, you can fly them
Yeah.
and be.
That's one option, but if you're technical and you want to get into how they work, programming and soldering and all that, it's beneficial later on. If you're going to crash it, you're going to break it.
Yeah.
Knowing how to fix it is important.
Yeah. So that's the difference. If it comes turnkey out of the box, if you're going to advance at all, your first couple crashes, you might be able to survive it, but you're going to end up having to disassemble and reassemble and repair. So might as well start from the kit. If you've got that aptitude or want, or need. So.
And then the second big tip I would say is once you get a frame and the goggles and you're flying FPV, get on to full rate mode as fast as you're comfortable
Absolutely.
with, because horizon mode, Ratitude mode, those things are kind of a crutch. It's fun at first, and then it starts to hold you back.
Yep.
Speed and agility wise.
Absolutely, performance-wise, it makes it sluggish because it always wants to right itself.
You're always fighting the flight controller. Once you free that up, it's
performance
a
through
whole
the
new
roof.
game.
Right?
Yeah, it's a lot more fun too.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot more stuff.
Exactly. So getting used to it sooner is the best first step to actually racing competitively.
Yeah, as soon as you're comfortable flying FPV, I would start trying to use radio.
Yep. Good. All right, Joel. Thanks for talking to us, man. We'll chat with you later. This is Todd Wahl with FPVLive.tv and the Drone Racing Club. We're out.